Alright guys, I'm super excited. Today is the day that Project XJ gets a well-deserved lift. Facelift, I guess if you want to call it, you know what I mean? So I'm putting in a 4.5-inch rough country lift kit with the... Just another step to Project XJ. I mean, there's so much more to go. I got a front bumper, I got a rear bumper, I got window tint, and I think I'm going to try to take a whack at it myself again. It's not the missus' car, so you know what? The missus ain't going to complain. She probably will, but you know what? It's my car. So anyways, so yeah, I mean, there's just so much more to go. You just keep on going and going and going. I mean, it's an issue. It's a car issue. You keep buying more cars and you keep buying more mods. It's an addiction. And it's not going to get solved. At least, not right now, at least. So anyways, so you know what? We're going to take some quick measurements to see, where we started and where we're going to end. See if it actually does anything. We're starting off in the back here this is just quick measurements so we can see actually how much it changes from the wheel well. So right now we're starting off at about 31 inches in the rear, and then coming to the front we are about 32 and a quarter-ish. So 32 and a half, 32 and a quarter. And we're gonna see actually how much the 4.5 inch lifts up the vehicle. So I am excited to see how this goes and how these bolts wanted to come off. I already lubricated them up with some PB Blaster, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it comes out. So alright, I mean, let's get started, let's get to it.
lyrics about the blow though. Tell me something that I don't know. With the crowd bouncing like pogos. You can come on the tour bus, just please no photos. Up the ride like Somo. Cause we be going off on the off nights. Cause I've been on every single song I put my pin on now. They don't know, or maybe they starting to. Cause I work so hard that it's hard to lose. Top spot, I'm taking that face to face. Got a bottle in my hand, I'm facing that. Cause if winning is a habit, then I've been an addict. Every night it's cinematic. When you roll with us, and we won't live forever. But I will remember when I met you in the summer. And I came to your town. We fell in love. And we burned it to the ground. And we could be together, baby. But I gotta leave soon. And everybody's listening now. But we got nothing to lose. When I met you in the summer. When I met you in the summer. When I met you in the summertime with your fine ass, Merlot in that wine glass. She dope as hell from Jersey, baby. White girl, but the curves are crazy. And she up all night like Adderall. She like sushi too, we compatible. And these other guys average, so they mad to know. Cause I'm ill like a dragon roll. Got cover girls in my room, but they don't need no makeup though. They just trying to party. Live too fast to take it slow. Got summer flings and these summer things, but we just making memories. Just promise you'll remember me in that time.
Alright guys, we're finally done with wrapping this lift up. It took a couple videos and a couple days to be honest with you. But I'm really super pleased with how it came out. You know, it's not the best lighting out. It's getting a little bit dark, so you're not going to see like a whammo type of lift kit, you know, video type of thing. Plus, I got the stock tires on there, so it looks super weird. Little tires, up high, a lot of open space in the wheel wells. Looks a little funky, but guys, here it is. I don't quite remember since it was so long ago what the original measurements were, but you guys heard me when I said it. So the front now, we are about 38 inches, so 3 feet, 38 inches. Not too shabby on the front. And then on the rear, we are about 3 feet, 39 inches as well. So that's not too bad. Right, 3 feet, 38 inches. So it's a little bit of a difference by an inch. The front is actually lower than the rear due to the new leaf springs we added. So we're going to have to put in some new coil spring spacers right in here. But what I want to do is I want to put the new bumper on. The bumper weighs about 100 pounds with the winch and everything. You know, we might be looking at 200 pounds, so I don't know if it's going to slant it even more. I don't know. So I'm going to wait and make sure when I put that bumper on, and then we'll measure the difference, and then I'll get the coil space for that, and then do another video on that. So there's a lot more coming. I mean, I got the front bumper to put on. I got the rear bumper to put on. I got coil spacers, I got window tint, I got rims and tires, I got you know, the headliner. I got so much more to do with that. And then with this, I got, you know, window tint, I got some hubcap, you know, restoration type fix thing, get rid of those god awful one. Previous owner left no remorse on those things. I'll tell you that, no remorse. There is not a single left piece of paint that hasn't been touched, scratched, curbed, or what. Alright, so it's completely in. So this is gonna be kind of like, you see what it looks like. You got the measurement distance of what it would be on an XJ. So I'm gonna go through this real quick. I'm trying to chase the darkness a little bit here. It gets dark early now in fall. So I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna tell you the tips and tricks of how to go about, you know, getting this thing in. So when we come to the front here, I don't have a lift to get this thing out, so I had to have 2 jacks pretty much. I had to have a jack stand right here in the back to keep the body up, and same thing on the other side. And then coming down the front here, what I had to do is I had to jack up one side really high, and I had to have a buddy of mine step on this side here to get it down further enough, because even the jacket wasn't even good enough to even get the coil in to the appropriate spot. And once that happened, the other side was even more of a little bit of a nightmare, because this already had so much more height on it. So after that, we had to really jack this up even further, and then on this side we had to really drop it down a significant amount just to get it down and out of the way with. And then this wasn't too bad. That cross, remember, that comes down from the mount that's up top here. So you had to drill just a little bit over, not too bad. But you gotta follow the instructions. I'm like, why isn't it lining up? Well, if you read, you have to wait for it to come down and off the lift in order for it to line up. And once I had to have someone turn the wheel for it to even go into the hole that I drilled. And then once that was all set, it went in nice. Make sure you anti-seize everything up and then torque it down to the factory specs. After the first 500 miles, go back and retorque it just to make sure, so you're not driving down the road and something falls out, and that's just scary as hell. So alright, now we're continuing on. So the sway bar end links here, not too bad to put in at all actually. It was kind of pretty easy. The one thing that I'd recommend is that it might be easier for you to unbolt it from the actual unibody itself, because once you get this up higher on this side, on the other side it's going to be a little bit difficult to try to get it in with your own strength. Maybe it's a little bit different when you have a lift, but this is for you guys DIY garagers with just a lift and jack stands. So that's how that would go. Another quick tip is the coil spring retaining clip and bolt, which is right, let's see, oh boy, which is located right there. I don't know if you can see, because of the flashlight here. Okay, retaining clip bolt, which is the coil spring retainer clip and bolt is hold right here. Those tend to strip out as you put them in, so don't be alarmed that it's a little bit loose and it keeps spinning and spinning. You can just get a little bit of size or bolt and go for it then. They also sell kits, but I think they're like 30 bucks plus shipping, so why would you do that when you just go down to the store and get a bolt that's a little bit bigger and just go to town? Make sure you anti-seize it up and you're fine. The brake line drop brackets were pretty simple to do. I mean, I had no trouble at all the bolts came out. I didn't get the extended brake lines, so I didn't have to worry about, you know, replacing any lines or any of that BS. I just had to stretch out this line right here, add the adapter bracket, and called it a day. The actual shocks, not too bad to put in. Just make sure you have it in the bottom all set, you clip it, and then let the piston go up into its spot, and you should be fine. The control arms here, these were a little bit of a bear to line up, to be honest with you, but once they came out nice and nice. You had to bash them out, of course, because they were snugged in there pretty well for over the 20 years that they've been in the vehicle. Those were the original lower control arms. But to get to the bolt to line up, I had to actually get a mallet and keep banging it just to get it to line up in the hole, and then I had to get a mallet to bash the bolt in, and it eventually went in and all set pretty damn good. And in the front, not too bad, but I'm going to tell you something. Do one side at a time for the lower control arms, because you will knock out the differential out of place. I did not do it one at a time. I did it at the same time, so don't do that, because you're going to run into a wicked bad issue with the alignment of the differential, and you're going to have to try to work it to get it to go into place. And that was a big scary situation, and wasn't fun, because you had to like jack it up, push it, and it was just not fun at all. So be very careful about that. Do it one side at a time, especially with the back here with the leaf springs. You want to do it one side at a time because you don't want your rear differential to get kicked out either, because when you come time to doing these are bare in itself, and it will take you some time. So for the rear shackles, I got brand new rear shackles because I didn't want to deal with that bolt not coming out or whatnot, and it did not want to come out at all. The rear shackles were complete crust over, and it was a bear to do. It took me actually a couple days just to get that done. So these rear leaf springs were a complete bear to get out. This right up here, I had to heat up so much and then just keep going to town. They would not want to come out at all. I had to use a jack just to get the pry bar at an angle and pump it up just to get it going, because I wasn't strong enough at all to get it. What the hell? So I gotta touch that up. I was not strong enough to get it going. Same with the rear. It was a complete nightmare. Every single bolt on this XJ needed to get heated up in order for it to even budge a little bit. It's you know, it's expected. I wasn't shocked at all, but I'm just really glad that it all got done in the end in my garage. Transfer case drop back, it was a complete nightmare to do. To get it out was no problem, but the thing is, they have a nut on the inside, so what they want you to do is put it in there to pull the stud out, just so that you just have the nut in there to screw in. That didn't happen, not at all. So I had to get a jack and a press, and I just pretty much forced and popped it right out. That came out, but then I had to cut on this side, the side of the frame, to get the nut in there, and then I welded a new nut inside, and the other side I had to fish it in down and through with the little string. That was a complete nightmare. This took the longest, I think, more longer than the rear leaf springs did, and that was even more of a nightmare. So it's a nightmare to do this, but it's definitely doable, and it's, in the end, it's really rewarding, and it's pretty cool. I forget, and every time I try getting out of this thing, oh crap, I have a lift kit, because when I try getting out, I'm like, where the hell's the floor? You know, so I mean, it look good. It's gonna look good with the tires and the window tint on there. I put the roof racks back on there. They're nice and painted. You'll see in the next video about that. And hell, I mean, this is coming a long way. This is stuff that you can do at your home, in your garage, DIY, with the most, I wouldn't say most simplest tools, but pretty much hand tools. You know, it doesn't take much to do any of this stuff. Just glad that it really got done in the end, in my garage, DIY, and that's how it gets done. So if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them, because I just did this, you know, and I know all the frustrations and struggles. Take your time. If something doesn't work, just breathe. Step back and just think. Honestly, that's all you got to do. Just remember, one side at a time. Spray these bolts with Knocker Loose or PB Blaster or WD-40, whatever, weeks in advance. Just keep going every single day. That will help you out in the long run a million times. And then get a little propane torch. That's all. You need a little propane tank. You'll see in my video that I would just heat up the bolts a little bit. Just heat them up, and voila, it does the trick, and it helps prevent a lot from getting snapped or stuck in there. This is what this channel is about. So guys, if you have any more questions or anything like that on how to do this, I know I kind of went over really quickly of the issues that I ran into, but like I said, I am chasing dark. It's going to get dark probably about 20 minutes, and I still have to clean up a little bit. So, I mean, just shoot me a message, you know, notification type of thing, comment below. And guys, that is it. So I appreciate you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. You do whatever you want to do. And I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you for watching.